Hello everyone, it's July now, so that of course means it's time for the list of games I finished in June. Slightly longer list than usual this time, but you'll see why, because there's a lot of games on here that are fairly short games. And that starts out with the 5th of June, where I beat the arcade version of Final Fight. This was not actually played in an arcade. This was played on the Capcom Beat 'em Up bundle for the Switch. But I felt like playing some Final Fight. You know, a very basic, but good beat 'em up. The next day, also on the Switch, but also the arcade version of Splatterhouse, which was played on another collection. It's like the Namco arcade collection. It comes with the original arcade version of Splatterhouse, which is not radically different from the TurboGrafx version or the Genesis version, I think both of which appeared on this list in other months. But I don't know, I like Splatterhouse, even if the versions are really not that different. Now, of course, the first real major game on this list is Xenoblade Chronicles X for Wii U, and that got finished on the 13th. And that took all of May, plus, halfway into June to get through. It was a long game. According to the thing, it's like 160 hours was spent on there. And there's apparently a bunch of post-game content, which I had too much of that game. Like, I was glad for it to be over. I might go back to do that post-game stuff at some point, but not right now. Then the following day on the 14th, beat Picross E2 for the 3DS. I do like playing Picross. It's an interesting kind of puzzle game. Then we got another big RPG on the 16th. Shin Megami Tensei 4 Apocalypse for the 3DS. This was my first experience with the Shin Megami Tensei series. And, if you're going to pick up a series, you might as well start with a spin-off game of the fourth game. Jokes aside, it actually was a pretty good game. And I've been playing that for the last year slowly. Because basically, I played that whenever I had to go anywhere where I was going to be in a waiting room for a long period of time. So, like, if I was going to have my car worked on, sitting there playing this. If I was at the doctor, sitting there playing this. If I was taking my mother to the doctor, sitting there playing this. And it's finally over. And it involves all kinds of religious things, and had it been a bigger release, might be controversial. But since it's pretty obscure, it gets a pass. Then, on the 17th, beat Guacamelee 2, the Xbox One version. And actually, I liked Guacamelee 2 more than the first game. It's that kind of wonderful fake cultural thing. I mean, it's about Mexico the same way that, like, Terrence and Phillip is about Canada. But a lot of fun. Recommend that. Because you can get that on Steam and on PS4, everything else. Then on the 20th, we have a surprisingly short game, but a very good game, in the form of Wolfenstein 2, the New Colossus. And, I only started playing that to get points for an Xbox Quest, to get, like, free Xbox money. But then it was actually such a good game, I kept playing it, and I wouldn't normally play a first-person shooter on a console. But, like, this one was good enough that it, like, just kept going. It didn't take very long. I think it only took about 3 or 4 days, playing it a couple hours a night to beat it. But it was a lot of fun. Very interesting game. Then on the 22nd, we have a Wii U game, Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, which is short and lazy, and I didn't enjoy it at all. I only got that because I found it in a bin at Walmart for $5. And honestly, I feel like I overpaid. I guess the problem is I'm not really into sports games to begin with, let alone tennis of all things, but yeah, that took about 30 minutes to kind of see all the content of that game, and it's 30 minutes I just wish I could get back. But moving on to a better game, on the 29th, we beat Gato Roboto for Steam. And, oh my, this was a wonderful little game. Very short, only took about 3 hours to get through. You know, I almost did this in one sitting, but not quite because some things came up. And it is a black and white kind of Game Boy style Metroidvania. And I will probably play it again, relatively soon. I didn't 100% it at the 3 hour mark. According to it, after I beat it, I was at 84% total. So I might play through it to try and do a 100% run. But seriously, that's a nice game. It's very cheap. And it's just a wonderful experience. But that's it for June. Quite a few more games than usual, although most of them were pretty short, because I'm looking back at this list, and of the 9 games on this list, 6 of them are very short games. Short to the point that 4 of those short games could honestly be beaten in one sitting without much difficulty. So it sounds like a lot more than it really was. But see y'all next month, unless I do something in between.